it's important to me at least to show it. And I think, if you can search through my videos, you're going to see plenty of running footage. Because the last thing in the world I'm going to be is one of these guys that just does this. I'm not here begging for subs or, people to like my videos or any of that. I'm posting videos that I like and hopefully helping the good people within this hobby. And the rest of you can just kiss my ass.
Yeah, not that long. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Record.
Never assume that because a man has no eyes, he cannot see. Close your eyes. What do you hear?
I hear the water. I hear the birds.
Do you hear your own heartbeat?
No.
Do you hear the grasshopper, which is at your feet?
Old man, how is it that you hear these things?
Young man, how is it that you do not?
Niggas ain't with it, better get with it.
Red flags in the air, nigga, the king cheese. I never thought the coach would grow to leave here. Just like you can get the weed down in Amsterdam. Best believe the super bit of Birmingham. Understand it's the coach live wild.
Hey, also Nitro Nerds here. This is part 2 in our award-winning, epic, over-the-top documentary, Tuning a Nitro Engine. As always, I have to give, my disclaimer. I'm no expert. I'm no professional. I'm what? That chump with the camera, right? Who's doing nothing more, as I just said, posting up videos about toy cars. Unfortunately, most of the information out there, in my opinion, is not very useful. It's useful your first week, maybe month in the hobby, but after that, you're like, okay, I get that, but how do I employ it? Now, unfortunately, I can't really walk you through my process in 10 minutes. And as I stated in the trailer, this is something you have to follow it. You can't bounce around and pick up tips here and there. It's a process. First is airflow mixture, right? And you can break this down a little bit further. So let's begin with the carb settings. I think that there is way too much emphasis put on stock needle settings, right? So I hear people all the time, they're having issues and someone will say, well, do you have the stock settings correct? Or what are the stock settings? Let me tell you what the stock settings are. Flush and flush, right? Because what is the point of a stock setting? It's to get the carburetor to set an airflow mixture that will allow the engine to start and be heavily on the rich side. That's it. Safely start up an engine. That's the best way to look at it. Stock settings are a setting to safely start the engine. I promise you, at least in my experience, flush will safely start your engine. From there, you begin the tuning process. Now, going back to airflow mixture, the needle settings are 1. We're going to get to the details of that soon. But also we have things such as your O-rings and your gaskets, perhaps your front bearing, right? So, if you have a leak, and again, you hear this all the time, seal your engine. Well, there's a difference between sealing your engine and making sure you don't have a leak, okay? So my experience again, which is 100% of the time, if an engine has a quote-unquote leak, it's simply going to be an O-ring, like I said, in the carburetor, the back plate, once again, maybe the front bearing, as opposed with you're having a hole in the crankcase, yeah, or a misdesign of an engine to where everything is right, but it still leaks right from the factory. It just doesn't happen. At least it's never happened in my experience. Now, when I got my first race engine, I learned kind of a lesson, and that was I didn't put the O-rings on the pinch bolt that goes inside. I just didn't know to. Check for things such as that, okay? And then finally, here's a little tip. If you think that your needle settings are moving, so you go from rich to lean or vice versa, and it's the actual needles that are moving, it's not your imagination. It can happen. Check the O-rings on your carburetor. But again, this is, a very unlikely occurrence. Most likely, it's your needle settings are straight up wrong. And then, when it comes to air leaks, finally, the most common thing you're going to see are with component pipes, this coupler right here coming loose, allowing an inconsistent airflow, or allowing an airflow, how about that? Most likely always it's your exhaust port gasket right here. To where I can tell you there has been twice where I was having an issue tuning an engine, and I thought, man, let me take a look. And the rear gasket looked fine, felt fine, all that good stuff. It passed every test that I know of. And I said, well, let's just replace it just for the hell of it. For S and G's, right? I replaced it, problem solved. Now, why that was? I don't know, I don't care. But I know it was. And I'm simply passing it along. Number 2. And I should note that these are in no specific order. The fuel delivery system. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. This is a lesson I learned a long time ago. And that is the impacts that your tank, your tubes, clunk, inline filter, etc. have on an engine's ability to be tuned is incredible. I would say probably, well, I'm going to show you how many times I had an issue tuning an engine. I shouldn't say an issue, it wouldn't tune. And I replaced the tank, problem solved. About this many times. Now, one of the most problematic areas you'll find with respect to your tank, your fuel delivery system, that is, are these inline filters. I don't know what it is, but they go bad pretty quickly, and you'll find that there's a breadth of quality among them, okay? These things right here, be careful because they will ruin your tune at the drop of a hat. I've had my tune ruined, if that makes sense, probably 10 times with these, and I have a plethora of them. The test I'll normally do just to make sure I'm good is I'll blow through the pressure line right here, plug this hole, and if my cheeks don't puff out and I turn red and I'm about to pass out, then something's wrong. But at the end of the day, you know, forget all this soaking it in water and putting soap and all that crap on there. If you think, we'll put it this way, if your tank is over a gallon old and something's wrong with your tune, you can't get your tune right, replace the damn tank. You'd be shocked. Again, there are times where I can't tell there's a problem with the tank and looking at it, visual inspection and blowing through the hose and all that, I just can't tell. But I changed the tank, problem solved. Two things I haven't talked about, fuel and the glow plug. Now, do they affect a tune? Hell yeah. But let's see, there's once again a lot of misinformation out there. Now, here's the way it affects it. All right, so I put some fuel that I found where I left the cap off the fuel bottle for over a week. It was in the trunk, in the garage, so I figured let's try it just to see, right? What's the worst that's gonna happen? Shit, I'm gonna take the engine apart as soon as I get back. So I get a kick out of these guys who, you know, these fakers, as I call them, who will tell people, well, man, you know, I mean, I could get my engine dialed with 20%, but when I went to 30%, I got it max installed, dialed. You know, some BS like that. Or, yeah, man, well, I'll tell you what, you don't want to run a medium cold plug during a waxing gibbous moon phase. Really? Look. Can I tell the difference between 20%, 25%? Hell no. Can I tell the difference between a medium cold plug and a medium hot plug? Hell no. You know what? Maybe I'm like a little slow or something. Maybe I need some help in this hobby. I can't tell the difference, but what I don't understand is these guys who can, but they can't tune. I don't get it. So they tell us they can tell the difference, but when you look at their engines run, they run like shit. And I'm fixing to bust yet another myth. What do you think there, huh? What do you think? Look at him every time he's on camera. He wants a treat. You want a treat? I got you a treat. Here's your treat. No, come get your treat. Come and get your treat. Oh, good. Oh boy. He's getting the treat. All right, sorry guys. We have fun like that. I'm gonna bust another myth though, and this is real. Hey everybody, I'm gonna leave my fuel overnight. I wonder what's gonna happen. I'm sorry. I'm serious too. I'm coming out with a vengeance on this engine because I couldn't run it tonight. Yeah. Let me tell you something. When I can't run my stuff, I bottle it up and I take it out the next time I go. And the next part, you're going to see this engine on this vehicle with this pipe, this fuel, that glow plug. I promise, rocking and rolling. This. Ironically, this is part of my little tutorial today. I'm willing to bet it is clogged up. And that's insane because I cleaned this thing out